Talk to me. Talk to me about Kanye. Y'all know this is my favorite topic in the world.
Hey,
when I go to meet
woman.
my maker, he's asked me, Mom, what have you most enjoyed? I enjoy Kanye, son. Yeah, I like polarism, son. I like polarism, but again,
okay.
What's happening over here, Mr. Geis?
All right, so I guess I'll be the resident Twitter go througher type guy. So there was a Twitter rant. I'd say maybe now 2-3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, give or take, about Kanye West and the reason why his wife is kind of sort of up in arms, and why there's talks of a divorce. So I'm like, wait, what the fuck? And they're like, yo, he went on Twitter and he said what he said. So now I'm like, okay, well, what the fuck did he say to, like, you're running for president. You need your wife by your side.
Sure.
So I do some digging, and he says, and quote, they tried to fly in with 2 doctors to 5150 me. So what is 5150? That is a class of medical classification when you need to be facilitated.
Okay.
Or facilitated.
And his ass does. Proceed.
Yeah. And he also said, I've been trying to get divorced since Kim met with Meek at the Waldorf for prison reform. Now, that's the shit that got him in hot water with his wife.
No, he said divorce, yeah.
But
why is she meeting with Meek Mill?
For prison, there was a prison reform event at, and that's something else we're going to put on a docket as well, prison reform.
How about we put Meek Mill on a docket? Why the fuck is he the authority? Go ahead, son. Go ahead.
Well, we can talk about all that later. Nonetheless, there was they were there, and I'm gonna go out on a limb and say I doubt that anything happened. Because what it seems to me is that he's alluding to
infidelity.
However, I think this woman is married, and I think she prides her marriage too much to do something that dumb.
I agree. What I'm seeing is she's out there making political moves on her own, and he doesn't like that.
You could be onto something.
That's kind of what that looks like to me.
You could be onto something. I can't really. I don't know.
Yeah. But the quote unquote prison reform in his tweet, insinuates that that's not what they was there for. But okay, so your point, I see your point too.
Yeah, for sure. And so he also stated, I got 200 more to go. I didn't quite know what that meant. This my lady tweet of the night. Chris Jong-un. I didn't quite know where he was going with that one. He also stated, Little Baby, my favorite rapper, but won't do a song with me. So he's clearly ranting. This was separate tweets.
This is what my wife would say is an episode.
Yeah.
Because with his diagnosis and you ain't taking your meds, shit starts looking like this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So go ahead.
Oh, I don't know.
No, go ahead.
All right. So, a conversation that I had with my wife about a little more serious situation. I'll omit names. However, we were just talking about the state of an individual who is on medication.
Sure.
His on medication state and his off medication state. His on medication state is pretty cool, calm, collected. I don't know how it affects him. The medication affects him personally.
I
I
got some
do
insight
know.
to that for you, but go ahead.
Okay, so I know when I have been around this individual, he seems pretty cool. However, his off medication has been something of a problem. So when I look at that situation, and I look at, I mean, his diagnosis is, I'm sure, different from Kanye West, but I would assume that someone who is medicated, who is taking medication for whatever psychological issue they may have, yeah, they do these things. This isn't as extreme as the previous with the individual. However, they do really weird things, very irrational things, very off the wall things, and I'm just a little. I'm like, yeah, dog, and here now you're running, really and truly, you're running for president. You're on. I think he's still trying to get. I think he needs a certain amount of votes to be put on the bill, but he's late to the party.
Very late
on that. However, he's trying.
Okay.
And I'm just like, bro, this is what's going on with you. You're doing this, but at the same time, you're tweeting this wildness. I don't think that you're, in my opinion, I'm no doctor, I don't think that he should be focused on presidency.
Agreed.
At this current moment. And I think this is just yet another kind of, I'd say, stain. It's not a blemish, not even a stain, a blemish on his name. And I think that it's becoming increasingly difficult to hold his accolades high enough for me to not view this and say, yo, bro, you bugging. You need to stop this.
Right.
This is why people look at you like and say what they say about you. I understand the brain of a Gemini. We think a certain way. And sometimes we fly off we say what's on our hearts and on our minds instead of thinking it through in many cases. However, you can't do this in the public eye and be a presidential hopeful, but on the sidelines, like you're fucking up your home if that's the case.
Okay.
That's my opinion. I still love him. I'll pray for him, and I think that he still makes really good apparel and really good music. But I think he should dial it back, and then and take care of himself, and then push to be, because I think his wife is in the right positions and doing the right things to be that type of support system if he hasn't fucked that up already. So.
Okay. I'm gonna jump in here because I'm sure snow will be the neutral palette that's required. So I'll jump in here as I light my cigar.
Light that shit up.
There are a few things here that stands out. The insight I have for you for people on medication, it's a very powerful thing, and you subscribe to at every major breakthrough of mankind, humanity has always been met with the man shouldn't be playing God,
Right.
right? You make airplanes, man shouldn't be flying. You know, you cure the flu, man shouldn't be fucking with natural selection. Oh, like let's keep that construct in mind.
Right.
Scientists, modern medicine is aware of these diagnoses, whatever the fuck, and they have it down to a chemical compound that they figured out how to block specific behaviors by blocking specific chemicals
Or suppress.
By modern medicine, right? And that's all good. That's cool, sweet.
Right.
What's interesting about that is these medications have very real side effects, and the side effects themselves are not desirable. However, in the face of the behavior because of the diagnosis, you know, you take someone that's bipolar. Today they wake up, they're Kanye. Tomorrow they wake up, they're Napoleon. The next day they wake up, they are, I don't know, whoever the fuck else you want to put in there. In order to stop that, the medication, whatever the medication does to them, now becomes the lesser of the evil when looking at what they really could be out here doing.
Right.
So these medications are not good. They are not good. And these medications are so powerful that you just can't stop taking them. Once you're on them, you stop taking it, you start being introduced to side effects like suicidal thoughts. And erratic behavior. We've seen the erratic behavior from Kanye. We don't know. You can only assume because he's never really spoke out. I mean, he did, right? Suicidal thoughts. What type of thoughts are these? He's already expressed this. And I see what it does to a person because in my family, my extended family, we have real instances of this. And even in my family, and let me not even say extended, but my family as well, the people are not themselves. So when you say this person on this medication seems very chill, yes,
right, that's its function.
But if you really want to understand their journey, this person is a shell of who they once were outside of the diagnosis.
Right.
So outside of by it muting, killing the problem that you get with the diagnosis, it's also muting and killing who this person is at their core.
Right.
So somebody coming in making jokes about your mama, even before or when they're not being bipolar, that's also gone with the medication.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it's easy to perceive it as, you know, X, Y, and Z is mad cool when he's on his meds. He's not making jokes about nobody's mama. He's not worried about driving 100 miles an hour in his car no more. Like, that's alarming because a part of this person is being suppressed by this medication. Right. And it's fucking wild. Now, let's zoom out a bit from the medication. The people administering the medication, the constructs above that.
Right.
This is coming from people who play God.
Big Farm.
And let's remember the same people, because mental health is a thing. Now we can identify it. Now we can, we can work towards correcting it, creating a path to overcome it. Agreed. It all needs to be done. However, medication is like the last frontier. It's the most severe version of it. But the practice of mental health looked very different, right? You want to talk about Jews and Hitler. Hitler had scientists in his employ that was doing a ton of these things. They were trying to figure out how to remove the Jews from the Jews. Yeah. Whatever it was that made them a Jew, right?
Guess
From his perspective.
Say that again, Stone. I'm sorry.
Coming in.
And guess who they practice on?
Your audio is coming in kind of low there.
Sorry, and guess who they
They
practice on?
Yeah, they practice on black people. So whatever at this at the at, on the veil of how do we manipulate these people, this is where they ended up very well what we're doing today. Scientists for our government employed, you look at the LSD for the black soldiers and the Tuskegee, all these things were under mental health. You look at the horror genre of movies and how they've got all these asylums and people going crazy. This was, they took criminals and scums and they put them in these places for this field of people, these mental health evangelists, to operate on them and do their studies and make their notes, because that's a part of science, right? You look at, oh man, I forget the name of it. But in Europe, there is the church ran these businesses where they would get outcast of women in society.
Right.
Women who had breasts that were too big, or women who would, their husband would go to hit them and he'd be like, nigga, you touch me, I'll fucking kill you. Oh, she's not she's not mentally fit for society because she won't conform to what a woman's supposed to do. Throw them in this establishment. And this establishment was ran by nuns. And these nuns were doing psychological things and abusive things, both physical and mentally. And out of that came all of these notes and studies that are now all wrapped up into what mental health and psychology is today. Let's never remove the fact that this subgenre of science and modern medicine is playing God. And it just so happens that today we align with a lot of the theories and the outcomes of them, which is why putting Kanye on medicine is okay, right? But 30, 40 years ago, even going back a little further, 1890s, the 1900s, they were doing this to black people. They were trying to figure out how to alter your mental stasis to make you feel less than, to make you conform. Because if they could remove the free thinking from the black man, then you really and truly have a slave, right? Or if you can get ahead of that, you can do whatever fuck shit you want to do to these people and they never lash out. This was all the same fucking thing. So I'm very cognizant and I'm very afraid to look at someone like Kanye who just wants to be himself and succumb to the concept that, yes, give him a mental blocking pill to kill that part of him, because I think that it's not okay. Well, you know what? 50 years ago, it wasn't okay for a black man to drink from the same fountain as a white person. And 50 years before that, it wasn't okay for a black man to walk on the road. And 50 years before that, it was some fuck shit. And then go back, and then 100 years before that, with the Jews and their shit, it was some fuck shit. You get what I mean? So I'm still side-eyeing this profession. Is it right, though? You know what I mean? So now that I've laid that groundwork, I think a lot of what he does is because of his diagnosis. I'm not saying it's a problem, because if you go back and look at a lot of the geniuses in our history as modern people, as long as people were writing the history of people, the people who stood out, the people who said the earth wasn't flat, it was round, the people who put math to paper,
forward thinkers,
to figure out which direction the sun comes up and goes down and what stars mean. The same people that said there is no God, but there's a universe. All of these people, if you read what you're supposed to be reading and you understand it, a lot of these people had the exact same fucking traits that we see in Kanye. They were fucking weirdos. They were erratic. They were eccentric. But none of those phrases applies to Kanye. The phrase that applies to him is, he's crazy. Give him some medicine. It's very cloudy for me. It's very cloudy for me, right? And it sucks to see that as much as I've seen all these fucking black people that are woke, that are educated, they don't share my empathy for him. They don't dig as deep as they should. Well, then how woke really are you? because this is one of your own. This is one of your own that has made strives in our struggle and laid groundwork and foundation for us to strive. Right? Be it if you agree or not, because a lot of people, well, what the fuck? At the end of the day, rap music don't mean nothing. He ain't nobody. Really? Then why is JayZ king of culture? Why is everything JayZ does so big? Why is Drake? Oh, so hip hop does mean something. Okay, fuck you. You out here, you married to a white woman, and so I'm sorry, were we not striving for a world where interracial couples and equality is the goal? But here you go.
And by the way, she's not white.
That's even another. That's another fucking. I don't even feel like going down that road. So you know what? Sure. Fuck you. You don't care about fashion, right? Okay, so you don't care about Kanye putting groundwork for Virgil to be the top of LVMH, a creative director. You don't care that Dapper Dan is doing what he's doing with Gucci after Gucci tried to get rid of him when he was coming up. Now they're coming back and saying, shit, my bad, fam. Yo, here's your office. What you need. Here's everything you need to do what you need to do. You don't care about that, but yet still, when you hear about forward-thinking black people and how we need to fight for equality, it's a conversation about we need to branch out in every way where people respect our culture. They take our culture and steal it. We need to take it back. Right. So is what Kanye doing not part of taking it back? Fuck you. I don't want to have that conversation. So there's all these things around him that's just like, and this is outside of the fact. I like to call it the Whitney Houston, Michael Jackson thing. And even R. Kelly, right? We as a people, and this message, depending on who you talk to, this message looks different. Should you be separating the artist from the person? Or should you not? Because Whitney Houston did the worst. She was a terrible role model, but she's a national icon. Really? Whitney Houston was doing what tore us down as a culture, as black people. She got caught up in the drugs, and then she dragged Bobby Brown down with her. She did the worst. But yet still, you still love Whitney Houston, okay? Michael Jackson, I'm going to say that man out here touching people's kids. People are going to say not, and I'm going to ask them, why don't you send your kids over there to sleep over with Michael Jackson for the night? No, I'm not doing that. Okay, then. But Michael Jackson's still Michael Jackson, right? You still got love for Michael? All right, cool. R. Kelly.
And still playing his music.
R. Kelly's canceled. Is he now? Is he now? So now you don't care about any of this man's work that he did. Now you can separate the artist from the person. So why you still got love for Michael? Why you still got love for like there's but none of this applies to Kanye? None of it at all? Like I don't know I don't know which direction to go. Like this man is a person. Son, it's a very real thing. Couples fight, they argue. You tired, she's tired of you leaving the toilet seat up, and you're tired of her asking you how your day was when you're on the Call of Duty. And here goes a fight. You know what, bitch? I know I should have divorced you. There's that D word. But somehow, you still love your husband. You still love your wife. Y'all can get through that. So, Kanye says this about his wife, and it's a big deal. It's you understand what I mean? Like there's so much back and forth where this matters over here, but it doesn't over there. And this is why I'm largely like, fam, I'm neutral all the way. I don't care. That's this man's. I have empathy for him as a person because I admire the things that he does. And what keeps me grounded in the Kanye conversations, you got people like T.I. that wholeheartedly disagree with his beliefs and his stance on things and his interpretations of things, but he'll still be like, that's my brother. And I owe it to him to try to understand. And even if we agree to disagree, we agree to disagree.
Right.
I don't cancel you because everyone's got their own stance. Much like I always say, how the fuck are you pro-black and going to church on Sunday? Those two look fucking retarded to me. But I'm going to agree to disagree with you. What you do is what you do. And I extend that empathy to Kanye.
Mm-hmm.
That's where I stand on that.
For sure. Snow.
Brother Kanye, get better.
For sure. For
That-
sure.
Wow. You're in a good mood today.
Mercury is in retrograde.
JayZ.
Is it a good mood today? Okay. Brother Kanye get better. You got more on that, Tawann, or you good?
Yeah, nah, I think I'm good. I think we have pretty much
No, we got one more in the
chalked
docket.
it up.
We
No,
got.
no,
Oh, you talk
we
about
definitely
Ye.
Okay.
Okay.
No, about Kanye, we pretty much chalked it up and basically laid out what it is. I agree with Snow's sentiment as well. Kanye get better. You know what I'm saying? Because I first of all, you black. First of all, you're intelligent as shit, and you're Gemini. So you got a lot going on for you, and you make some decent sneakers as well. I know I'm fucking around with that, but he has so much going on for himself. In my own opinion, I just feel like he needs to just scale it back, just
Figure it out.
Get it. Grab it, gravitate to what you're doing, soak it all in, remove yourself from whatever you're doing and observe. And I think that you have a better, maybe a perspective about how to move when you move.
But this is why I have empathy for him, because that mental. Let me go far left. I was watching that Brooklyn game last night. I don't know if you guys seen it.
Mm-mm.
The Nets versus the Portland, I think it was.
Mm-hmm.
And there was a dude on Portland. I think he was a center. And I numerous times I saw him making lazy ass plays.
Mm.
And I'm just like, who is this fucking dude? Like, yo, the league is soft. This dude is like 7-something, and instead of going hard to the hole, he's jumping with the intent to bounce off somebody to do a soft ass layup. In our era of basketball, you could get the fuck out of the way. Because when a motherfucker make moves to go to that basket, he is plowing everyone and everything in the way. And the ref is just going to have to make a call. So I'm looking at this dude and I'm like, yo, why are you so soft, fam? But then I had to realize, yo, your physical ability is your physical ability.
Right.
You know what I mean? So the games, the coach has got to coach around him. We got to come up with plays
You can't coach through him.
He's still
You gotta
going to be
coach
down
around
low,
him.
but he can't attack as aggressively. That's what a mental health issue is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Somebody could look at you and be like, yo, fam, why can't you just scale it back, put it on paper and get it back? Like they can't.
Mm-hmm.
And not physically can't, but it's just as strong as physically can. They
Right.
meant it's a block that we don't understand. That's very real for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So even that in itself is just super difficult. And I think Snow said it best, like, yo, get well. However
Mhm.
you get well, however that looks like. Because that man, yesterday it was rapping. The day after that, it was some sneakers. Fam, I can't even imagine what this dude could do if he takes his level of genius to politics.
He's yeah, absolutely.
You know
He's
what I mean?
already in bet, like doing something with Elon Musk. So
Like, and he has a proven track record. And that's why people don't like this dude, because he tells you he's going to do it and he does it. So I'm just off of his track record. I'm like, yo, let me see what he could, like, yo, he could really, really change shit. He could move the needle.
Yeah.
But
no one's giving him a chance.
maybe
so.
he's at his limit. Maybe he moved the needle as much as he could. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
Yeah, man.
So
You can't call it.
can't call it, son.